museum was built in 1897 during the reign of Abbas Hilmi II, and it was opened on the 15th of November 1902.
It houses more than 120,000 artifacts. That's why you have to be really selective upon coming here in a visit.
And that's why we were also selective. Ahmed had the chance to know the full details about the servant statues during the three main kingdoms, the old, the middle, and the new. So let's find out.
So basically everyone knows, and everybody in the world knows actually, about the pharaonic lifestyle and the lavish lifestyle of the kings and noblemen in the pharaonic era. But now we are going to take a different perspective about the life of the noblemen in the pharaonic era, which are the servants who used to serve them. Dr. Abir, tell us more about the servants and their roles in the life of the noblemen and their afterlife.
The servants that we have here are meant to serve in the next life, to provide for food. As a replacement or as an alternative of burying the real servants in the next life, the ancient Egyptians came up with a good idea of burying the statues that will make food. That's what they were concerned about. I will get hungry in the next life. Therefore, they believed that the power of magic will make these statues come to life and serve them. To do what? To do the things that they actually need.
So there was a common misconception about people thought that the pharaonic kings used to kill the servants and bury them with them during their death.
Absolutely wrong idea. Wrong. It's a misconception. Ancient Egyptians had very high ethics and morals, and they believed that killing a soul is the biggest sin of all. So, but they still needed the servants. They don't want to go in the next life and do the cooking.
Yes.
So they thought, okay, I will be kind, but I will need my servants with me. Therefore, they came up with this idea to serve them in the next life, and this idea developed with the Egyptian history from the beginning or from the old kingdom to the middle kingdom to the new kingdom, and we will see today how this servant statues developed and served the kings and nobles.
So how every servant of them did their job?
Okay, let's for example see the most important thing for Egyptians was bread and beer. Having to eat, these are the two most important elements. So here we see a large number of statues preparing for these two items. For example, here we will see the woman grinding the wheat. She brings the grains, put it on a saddle quern, that means a flat type of a quern, not a circular one or a rotating one, and she will grind it into flour that will be collected in a small container or basin in front of her. And then comes the step which is sifting. To use a sieve to sift like our grandmothers used to do, to get rid of the small impurities. And then comes
to purify the containment of the wheat.
Exactly, and make it fine wheat. And then she will mix it with water. All the serfs will mix it with water, turning it into dough. And this dough will be baked into bread in preheated molds like this. What do I mean by that? It means they put it facing the inner side, facing the fire, so it will be hot from inside. When the dough will be put in it, the dough will be half cooked. See, the pot is already very hot, so when you put the dough in it, it becomes half cooked. And if they want, they can finish the cooking and turn it into bread, or they can take the half cooked loaves and turn it into beer. Not like the transparent liquid beer that is used today, but a thick old-fashioned beer, white liquid. And this will be done by many servants, like we see here. This is one, and we see another one here with outstanding colors. This beer eventually will be put into jars that are prepared here. If you wish, we can have a look on the beer maker, one of the nicest examples of beer makers because of the colors. Here it is. You see what she's done now? She took the half cooked loaves, soaked them in water, and then will start squeezing after it was left to ferment for a while. She will start squeezing it she has like a strainer on top of a big jar. And as you see, the jar has a spout. So she will squeeze and the liquid will go into the jar. And then with that spout, it will be filled, the liquid will be filled in jars like this gentleman here and the other one were preparing jars. You see, we have the whole step here for making bread or beer, and that was, as I mentioned, the most important thing.
These are the basic requirements for any king or nobleman who
exactly.
died. He wants the servants for him to do these steps.
Yes, but you wouldn't mind a nice roasted goose, right?
Yes, of course.
So here we can see a servant plucking off the feathers of a goose, preparing it. We can see other examples of people preparing other kinds of food. But that's meat sometimes, killing or slaughtering, as we will see upstairs when we will go upstairs. So this is basically Old Kingdom. And you will see that some of them have some text, hieroglyphic text. They indicate the function and sometimes even the name of the servant. As we said, there is a magical idea behind it. They believe that magic will actually make these are creations, not statues, not as I think or you think, not solid statues, but these are creatures. This is life. So the power of magic will turn that creation into a real living person that can serve the noble in his next life. Of the tomb, a nobleman called Meketra. All these models many of these models come from his tomb. He's seated here on his chair, high chair, and he has his entourage with him, the people, the nobles and the serfs, all preparing the boat with him. So here we have the two boats here for the master and his son going into the fishing trip with them.
So how many servants or people does the king need in the afterlife?
Well, as many as he can afford, the more the better. You see, this Meketra was quite a rich nobleman. Apparently, he lived in a big estate, and his estate had big grounds and workshops. As we will see, not only he have these models, but we also will see that he provides us with workshops to make, like this one, to make fancy stuff for him. A carpenter shop. You see here we have people preparing, of course, for the chairs, the beds. He wants to live a nice life and he doesn't want to live, to sit on the floor or sleep on the floor. So you will see here people are cutting the wood, tying it to a high pole so it won't crack. You will see people with their adze cutting pieces, extra bits and pieces of the wood, or making holes and mortises in the wood with their tools. We see even a whole box. You see the box painted white with some tools put up on top of it, the adze and the drills and all the tools that carpenters used in ancient times, even saws and other things to cut adze, etc. We see people seated on a bench with their polished stones. So they will polish the wood, they will make holes in it, they will do things to holes and mortises to fix the wood together to create a box, a chair, a bed, whatever the nobleman needed. We will see that he had a big farm.
With cattle and the whole thing.
Exactly.
Yes.
But he also was quite a smart man. He needed to know how much cattle does he have. Okay, so here there is an annual, or maybe done every 2 years, count of the animals that he had. So as you see, all the animals are led this way, and he's enjoying the seat. Everybody else sits on the floor, while Meketra, the noble, is seated on a seat, and his scribes, 4 of them, are writing now. Maybe one scribe makes a mistake, the other one will be more accurate. So 4 of them will write down how much cattle, and the other servants here. You see, not just food and drink now. Things are becoming more fancy.
A full life afterlife.
A full life in the afterlife, and a fancy life, a fancy one. these ideas will change a little bit. It's already beginning to change, but we will notice it by the end of the Old Kingdom and by the New Kingdom. There is what we call democracy for the death. That means that not servants will live in the next life as servants, but there would be now judgment of the dead. If you are good, you go to heaven and help yourself, serve yourself. If you are a servant, you can go to heaven and live a good life. If you are a king, you can go to heaven and also have the same life.
You've just been in there inside of the Egyptian Museum. What did you see in there?
Well, there's a lot to see. I haven't seen everything yet. But my friends and I who are traveling here, we've studied archaeology, and so our trip here is mostly to see a lot that goes with archaeology. So everything that I've been seeing is just mainly seeing things that we've studied before, like the Narma palette is a highlight, as well as many of the statues. And after lunch, we're going to come back and see the mummies, which will also be very exciting.
So are you planning to visit other places in Egypt as well?
Yes, unfortunately, we only have a week here before I fly back to Canada. So we're going down to Luxor to visit the temples of Karnak, to go to Abydos and some other areas too, Tunis, as well as Saqqara. So.
Yeah, you're going to learn a lot about the pyramids and other monuments in Egypt because you're an archaeologist, actually, right?
Yes, so it'll be very exciting to go.
It was a little overwhelming getting to see so many things that I've studied in class before. I've seen, especially the Narmer palette, I've seen it so many times up on the screen, but I've never actually seen it myself. So it was amazing to see so many things that I've studied before and never had the chance to see it.
So you've been studying archaeology for how many years?
I did my undergraduate in archaeology, and now I'm doing Egyptology, so probably 5 years now I've been studying archaeology.
5 years. So how does it feel after studying, basically just studying things? What does it feel now after seeing the actual thing, the real thing now? The real deal.
It's amazing to actually see it myself. Just sometimes the scale, seeing it on the screen, you don't understand how big it is, and getting to see the sheer size of some of these monuments. They're as tall as the building themselves.
Just like one behind you?
Yeah, just to get to see that, and it's quite amazing.
It's awe-inspiring. It's just amazing to see these monuments that we've been reading about for so long and seeing in photographs.
So what was the most thing that actually grabbed your attention inside of the Egyptian Museum?
The Narmer palette. It's just an incredible piece of art, and to be that close to it is unbelievable. And knowing how important it is to archaeology is just incredible.
So now you're on a break. Are you looking forward to the other parts of the visit here?
Yes. I'm really looking forward to Luxor, to Deir al-Medina, to seeing Hatshepsut's tomb. I'm really looking forward to that.
And by this we come to the end of our episode. Thank you for watching and hope you enjoyed it.
Wait for us next time in a different tour.